Hello and welcome to Silver Wheel Tarot. For today's reading, I thought it would be great to do a reading based on empowerment, right? So general guidance on empowerment, on being empowered, on getting empowered. As I shuffle, the inspiration for this reading for today is that in the morning card today, the cards were very clear that you are powerful and not to forget that. At times, it is very normal for everyone to feel down on their luck, to feel sad, to feel very not empowered. And so it's important to remember that even if you don't feel empowered, you are still powerful, and you can reclaim that power and feel powerful again, because you are powerful. So you should feel empowered. And if you don't, then it's within your power to change that, regardless of the circumstances, even if it requires a change of perspective on what you have going on. But it's very important to remember that you are in control of your life. You may have circumstances or situations around you that you don't have control over, but your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, your perspective on things, the way you act or react, coming from either a disempowered perspective or a very empowered perspective, is all in your hands. And so I wanted to do a reading today with that, some general guidance on being empowered, getting empowered, staying empowered, essentially whatever needs to come through regarding empowerment. So I am using the original Celtic cross today. So I selected a significator, being that it is a collective reading. I choose to go with a major arcana, and I went with the Chariot. I really contemplated using the High Priestess, but the High Priestess is also very internal, and I considered using the Magician. The Magician's very external, and I really chose the Chariot because it represents movement. And what kept coming to mind for me was this need for balance, sometimes a lack of balance. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. And you see the light and dark dragons on this card, and the Chariots representing movement, that movability, that ability for you to pull your power back and to feel empowered when you need to also stand in your power and move in the direction in life that you want to. This card is also associated with water and the sign of Cancer, which is very emotion driven, which empowerment is. Okay, it's more than emotion, but if you are feeling very sad, you are not in a very empowered state, most likely. So, not necessarily, but most of the time, being very positive of mind, being very emotionally uplifted, and feeling secure in yourself and who you are, all go hand in hand in feeling empowered. So I felt led to pull the Chariot card for that. Okay. And if you like the spread that I am using today, the original Celtic cross, it is now available on my Etsy store in PDF format. It's a $1 download if you are interested, and it gives all the layout and the cards in detail, as well as the very interesting information that I have found when I did my deep dive study of the Celtic cross. So it is available. There are links in my bio and probably down in the comments as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the reading. So we have the Chariot. So we have what covers. This is the current influence. Two of Pentacles. So seeking of balance, a desire for balance, a need for balance, keeping the balance, basically balance. And with the Pentacles here, we're seeing this also very much in your day-to-day life, everyday living, not necessarily in your mind, but the influences around you in your day-to-day life have you wanting to keep and need a balance in order to feel empowered. Okay, so what is crossing? So the opposing energies between the Chariot being you and representative of essentially our subject matter, which is empowerment. Okay, it's more of a subject than specifically your current state, though they kind of go hand in hand. It is a general reading. So empowerment and the current influences are this need for balance, and what is crossing the combined energy. Oh, Three of Swords. Okay. Look at how in this card, this version of the Three of Swords, the papers are everywhere. There's lightning in the background. The windows are open with stormy winds coming through. This is very much the external world encroaching into your internal space here. The outside going towards the inside, which is why we see here this representation, this influence of essentially a need for balance. Because in order to stay empowered, you need balance, and the combined energies between the two are showing us that you may be in a very chaotic time right now. There's a lot going on. It could just be busybody stuff. You've got a million things to do, and you got to do the laundry, and you got to take the kids somewhere, and you got to cook dinner, and oh yeah, you have a report to turn in or schoolwork to do, depends on your life, right? Or you could have, you know, situations where family members need your assistance right now more than they usually do, things like that, right? So this external world is really starting to encroach on your internal space. That's the challenge here. And in order to keep balance, to keep that sense of empowerment, it's crucial to keep your inner world sound and calm and balanced, because then regardless of what you've got going on around you, you can stay empowered. You can handle everything the way you want to, how you need to, basically responding to situations instead of reacting to them. Okay, but the challenge we have here is that whether it's mentally or emotionally, Three of Swords tends to be tied to both. It's your external stuff is really starting to disturb the peace. Okay. All right, so what do we have for crowns? This is going to be basically your ideal, your future goal, how you want things to turn out. Sun, you want to feel so empowered, the most empowered that you can be, in your power, full of joy, expectancy on life, handling things like a breeze. Yeah, that's your goal here. Okay, and past experiences, things that have already passed for you in the recent past here. Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles typically represents working with other people. It could be creative projects. It can also be a sense of stability. You see how they're all gathered around this tree. They're working together. They're very grounded, but they're very uplifted at the same time. So at some point in your recent past, there was this working with other people. I'm not quite reading into this quite yet, how that plays into the disruptive energies. I'm just getting a sense of in the recent past here for you that there was some sense of togetherness. It's also a feeling of, searching for the word, it's an interconnectedness, networking. If it's work, that's the word that I was looking for, a sense of networking with others. Okay. Perhaps in the past, as you have been dealing with working with others, whether this is family members or a work environment or networking or creative projects, remember this is a general reading, so it could have many applications, you know, as opposed to a personal reading that we could dive deeper into specifics. But in general, this is very much a sense in the past of perhaps because of those experiences that you had working with others, and then whatever state you find yourself in now, needing to find balance and empowerment. Again, we see a work desk here, so I'm kind of sensing this is in the area of work, career, or projects for many of you. And so maybe you are working on something new. I'm sensing that is very coming across the same types of situations, and it's very chaotic. And you sense the need for needing that balance based on your experiences in the past. All right, let's see if we can get some more details here in the other influence cards. So, the Emperor. This is behind. This is your past, the past influences or just now passing. It's a very masculine, powerful energy, someone ruling over their kingdom. I get in this a sense here that you have had some opposition from very powerful people, be that your boss or your parents, somebody influential to you, possibly a mentor, someone you looked up to, but very powerful, masculine. Remember, that doesn't need to be male or female. The masculine energy is just somebody who is taking action, making things happen, in charge, ruling things. That's very much the power of this Emperor card. And I'm getting that based on your experiences with this person in the past, which was related to your past of working with people, that this type of energy, you're feeling it again. You're feeling it come in, or you are worried about that type of situation popping up again. So it is kind of taking your power away a little bit here, because even if you are embarking on something new, whether it's work, a creative project, something going on in your home, okay, anything that is important to you, that is reminding you of experiences you've had in the past, working with other people, and this influence you have had in the past of somebody powerful really making things difficult for you. It could have been a boss who just didn't believe in you, or it could have been a best friend who had a different perspective than you and really wasn't supportive. It could be a family member, a parent, a sibling, or someone who just really didn't have your back at some time that was important, okay? And what I'm getting here is not necessarily that that energy is actually present at all in the current, But your need to find balance is based on whatever you're working on. These old thoughts, these old emotions, these old hurts, these old pains, these old struggles are resurfacing for you to deal with and work with, to kind of rebuild that sense of self-confidence, to believe in yourself and who you are and the power you have over your life and your choices and the direction you want to go in life. For some of you, this could be very big, and for others, it could be small, but still very important, because it's important to have healthy boundaries and stay true to who you are and the direction you want to take your life, even if it's on small things. You let one small thing slide, and then another, and then another, and the next thing you know, it's completely snowballed on you, and you're in complete disarray, and you're like, how do I get my power back? So the small things are important as well, even so, just know that if you're not dealing with something huge right now. And so you are in this space right now, knowing that you need to keep balance to stay empowered. And that is where you want to be. So I get the sense that possibly right now there is one of two things. Either you're slipping in and out of your power a little bit because of these old wounds that you need to heal and work on within yourself, or you're in a very challenging position and somebody is challenging your boundaries, and you are really struggling to stay empowered at this time, to stand your ground. So it might be different for everybody. Again, it's general reading. Okay, and what is before you? The near future influence, Page of Wands. Court cards typically represent either characteristics of yourself or other people involved. Now, this is a general reading, so it's a little bit harder to pinpoint, say, a specific person, but I'm very much getting this sense of friendship or community, one person or multiple coming in to really help uplift you, to really help you feel supported in what you are doing. They have the fire here as well. Again, all the elements are very much involved in empowerment, right? Staying grounded while you're emotionally uplifted, mentally strong, and your personal fire just really moving you forward. This is also within this spread. In the inner workings of it, like a clock, has a lot going on. Though reading it is like reading time. I like to compare this spread to that. So I don't always go over every placement or detail in the spread, but this happens to be the fire space in influences. So it's very encouraging to see someone moving towards you in the future that is helping you to stay empowered and uplifted. I get this as someone that is more of a friend or a confidant, or someone who is maybe a sibling or more on the same level of you. It could be a coworker. It could just be others in your local community, church, if that's where you're spend a lot of your time, or online communities as well. Yeah, this definitely feels like the influence of somebody coming in to encourage you. Okay, so self. We have the current position or attitude that you are holding in the overall condition. Rest. This is your fire, this position, where this one here is other people's coming in. this is a sense or a feeling of just being depleted. Maybe you've been go, 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 and you are trying to stay uplifted. You are trying to stay motivated. You are trying to stay empowered and steer your life in the direction you want to go. And you know there is this need for balance because you are feeling just so exhausted right now. And if you're not physically feeling exhausted, this could just be mental overwhelm. You've got too much going on in your mind. Maybe these old happenings are taking up too much space in your mind. What if, woulda, shoulda, coulda, how might that affect the current situation you're in? What if it happens again? Like, this is not beneficial or helpful to you to let it stir over and over in your mind. There is a difference between letting things just kind of spin wild and become the storm that is in the outside of this card here, blowing in the windows of your inner self, versus calm contemplation, thinking of things, journaling, thinking it through, working with it, and then letting it go. If you don't have time to journal, but you find journaling helpful, a helpful advice would be to try journaling in your mind. If you can put on some music or you have some silent space, maybe some musical, instrumental type music, whatever works for you. But it's a very helpful technique. You can literally think about yourself writing in a journal and what you would write. It is a much faster process than physically writing it out. So if you don't have time to do that, you could take 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there. Anytime, maybe when you go to the restroom, you have a few minutes to yourself to kind of just ground and center yourself and mentally journal about the things that keep popping into your mind and troubling you to help you work through it in order to release it and let it go. Okay, so next position is the emotional influences around you. 6 of Swords. Yeah, it's a moving on. You are really working through moving on from these old hurts and pains that were in the past that are clearly brought up again and challenging your empowerment and your independence and your self-confidence right now, which is, definitely where you want to be mentally, emotionally, physically, all the way around. The Sun card, everything. Okay, so that just kind of verifies that for us. Not really reading much more into that. But there is, as you can see on this card, she's got like a rainbow over her head, and him, the family, so, whoever you associate with in the card here. But the swords are blocking the way a bit. So it's a challenge. I'm seeing it more of a mental challenge than an emotional one, to be honest with you. This is about things going over and over in your head and needing to work through them and release them and let them go. And the reason that I say that is we have the crossing card of the joined energy is very much the swords here. It's a 3 of Swords. And then for you, we have the 4 of Swords, and then again, we have the 6 of Swords. It's very swords heavy. The past influence that's troubling you is it's an emperor, but he's holding a very powerful wand, okay? And within your near future, you have somebody coming in just to help keep you uplifted and to support you and help encourage you forward. Yeah, I'm seeing this much more in the mental space for most of you. Okay, so hopes and fears. Let's see what your hopes and fears are. 6 of Wands. So I love this position, hopes and fears. It's very much could be your hopes or your fears, or both, your hopes and your fears kind of combined, because sometimes they really play on each other. And those are stemming off your external emotional influences that you have in your life. And so then how is that affecting your internal influences of being hopeful or being fearful, or both? So it's very encouraging here to see a Six of Wands, because this is very much a card of recognition and acknowledgement. Oftentimes you'll see on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith someone coming in on a horse with a wreath. It's a time of, celebration. Someone's coming in after a long journey, and there's a celebration or a sense of recognition or a bringing in of really positive news as well. So I'm very much seeing you in a very hopeful position, which again solidifies this, that it is mostly in your mind. So this is good news, because what that means is emotionally you are keeping yourself uplifted. It's possible it might dip here and there. We all go through ups and downs a little bit with our emotions, but for the most part, you're very uplifted, even though you have these mental challenges coming in of things of the past. What if this doesn't go right this time? Is it going to finally work? What if I have these same issues I had last time? But you're staying very, very hopeful. And so it's just, again, a matter of working through facing your demons, your old challenges, working through it, building up that confidence as you work through it to really stay empowered. Okay, so I'm excited to see what the outcome looks like. Justice. Beautiful. I literally just saw someone else's reading on Instagram where they had stated in their reading that the last quarter of the year is represented by the Justice card. So this is very beautiful, because tomorrow is October, at least at the time that I'm doing this. So for the next, season, and the outcome we have here is very much this sense of winning the battle justly, right? You've been through some hard things, there's no doubt. And you're still, while maybe spiritually and maybe in your physical world and emotionally you've worked through a lot of it, your mind is trying to play catch up, essentially, and still needs to work through to not kind of hinder you a little bit in your empowerment. And the beauty of this particular card here is it's a sword and a wand crossing. Whereas in the obstacle card, we have two swords crossing. Even though it's a three of swords, there's another one here somewhere. Oh, it's laying on the desk. But you have the crossed swords. So what I'm seeing here is that with this uplifted, positive attitude that you have, and with your strong desire mentally to really be empowered and to be in this beautiful space of light, and having worked through these mental challenges, that you are bringing in with this Sun card your own personal fire, your willpower. And with external help and positive influences as well, you have found a way to cancel out that sword energy. You are going to finally be able to work through those terrifying thoughts or the dread, old things stirring up again as you're trying to start something new, that on all other grounds you're like, come on, I can do this, I know I've got this. But as far as being fully empowered, like I was saying earlier, that all the elements play a role in that. The air, the mind, you are able to bring in all those other elements of yourself and your personal power to really help balance out that negative sword energy that has been present. You will finally find a place of balance. We have the scales here. And we see how it is also, oh, this is beautiful. This is also a desk, but instead of the stormy skies, we have this beautiful radiant sun shining through the window. You have been able to work through those challenging thoughts, bringing yourself back into balance and letting the light shine back in again to feel very empowered. That is a beautiful message. So be encouraged right now that if you are struggling to overcome something, you are going to get there. You will have your power back. You will feel very empowered on all levels, and you will regain that sense of balance. You will have justice. Beautiful. All right. Thank you for watching. If you find value in these videos and feel led to, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And until next time, be blessed.